Hey, what's up guys? It is Destery, and I'm here joined with Nathan today for another episode of Real Ass Talk. This is the 9th episode, and today I thought we'd do something a little bit different and a little bit more special, and that is a episode about depression, which is one of the probably the highest things that you guys have issues with, and you know, me and Nathan have had our fair share of issues with depression in the past. So this is kind of we have two people here just so that we have two kind of dueling, I guess, opinions. Well, they're not dueling. They're like the same. They're the same opinions, but we just had different types of depression, and we were affected in our lives from different types of depression. So that's why we have us both here today. So hopefully it can kind of offer a little bit more insight than just myself into this topic. So yes, and what I'll say, because Nathan's like obviously a first timer on this show. But what I will say is that, like I said, we both had two different types of depression. Mine was dysthymia, I believe, which is basically where you are never 100% happy, no matter what you could be doing in life, whether you're fucking ice skating or, jet skiing. No matter what you do in your life, for some reason, there's some sort of chunk just missing out of that, and like you just don't feel fully happy no matter what you're doing. So that's the kind of type that I had. And Nathan, did you have like, was yours actually like?
I don't know what like the medical term for it was, but I know that I think mine was like a mixture of two things. Mine was very like numb feeling. Like there's a type of depression that you just don't feel anything. You're not happy or sad. You're just like kind of existing. And then on top of that, it was like mixed with like anxiety of like feeling like what I did wasn't going to be like well received. Like I could be like, oh, I want to do this cool thing, but no, somebody might think this or something. So it was like a mixture of,
so it's like anxiety, depression. Gotcha. So I guess what I would say about mine is I didn't actually really know that I had depression. Like I just sort of assumed that there was something like wrong with me, but it wasn't depression. Like I just thought like, oh, this is just normal shit. And a lot of people will actually think that. They'll think like they'll go along their lives and they'll have something emotionally fucked up with them, but they won't really know what it is, and they'll just go along their lives like everything is fine. And for me, when I figured out that I did actually have depression, I was treated with antidepressants, and a lot of people will tell you that those things don't work. For a lot of people, I'm sure they don't. But for me, when I took them, I want to say like a couple months after I took them, like things were starting to stabilize mood-wise, and I haven't really been super afflicted by depression since then, or dysthymia rather. But Nathan has a completely different story when it comes to this stuff. So
yeah, I think that it's just like if you're not happy for just no reason, then you could probably have depression.
Yeah,
but it's like if you're just sad for no reason also, or like what I had, like feeling like nothingness, just, and it's not a good or bad feeling. It's just like completely apathetic. But it's like I don't know. It's such a strange thing because you can want to feel nothing. And so that's why it's happening, but what I had is like, man, I wish I could just feel something, but I just couldn't. But yeah, that was kind of my experience. Basically, mine was brought on a lot by outside, like by my environment. Mine was a lot like I felt very stuck in, like I just didn't know what the next step was to take. So that started out probably manageable, but then once you like add that on top of depression, like it's like you can think, oh, I know where I need to be going, but what depression does is it clouds the path ahead and makes it scary. So you're just like, shit, like I cannot, I don't even know, like I feel like I can't even take a step forward.
That's true.
I think for me, like what fixed my depression, it was really weird. Like I obviously didn't take any medication, so
right.
my story is like a lot different of like how mine got like cured or whatever. I think some of it is like obviously attributed to when you are mentally growing. Like I would say that is something that could easily happen like when you're developing, and then when you kind of can grow out of it. Because I remember when I was younger and I used to like really give a shit about what I looked like and whatever, and then like you grow up and you kind of somehow you just stop caring.
Yeah. It's entirely true.
And you don't get embarrassed about things. And
like your problems that you have. I want to say almost every one of your problems that you have during like your middle school, high school career. You'll think it's like the biggest issue of the entire world, and you'll probably be you'll be upset about it. You'll probably form some sort of depression. I mean, I want to say that my depression was born from the day that my first girlfriend broke up with me, and that's like the cheesiest, dumbest thing ever, but it's true. It just kind of spiraled from me being like this happy-go-lucky sort of kid, and then I got in this like serious relationship, and me and Nathan were in the same boat. We got broken up with like the same week, pretty much, by like the two girls were like best friends, so it was like we were both just
they're like,
really
hey, let's fuck these guys' lives over.
Exactly. and it really sucked, and it left me honestly emotionally scarred, and I know it left Nathan emotionally scarred.
It's like hilarious, or not hilarious, it's actually kind of sad.
Do tell.
So the first and only time that I've ever scream cried was when she broke up with me, and ever since then I have not cried about
anything logical.
Yeah. Like obviously I've cried when like people broke up with me, but it was like, okay, one tear, I'm done.
So I mean, because of those things that we thought were just the hugest deals in high school and in middle school, whatever, it like left this emotional scar. But later on in life, I want to say 3 or 4 years later on, you're gonna look back at those things in life and you're gonna be like, why did I ever think that was a big deal and that would affect my life? Like, for example, me and Nathan were picked on a lot in high school and shit, and I want to say I would go home and just think about it and just dwell in this just terrible mind state of man, maybe that guy's right, I'm a piece of shit, man, why doesn't anyone like me?
Maybe I should drink bleach.
But here we are 5 or 6 years later, and I haven't thought about my high school bullies once since
I have
then.
But then I think about them LOL, dude.
Yeah, we think about how much better we are than them, or how much they're probably stuck in a trailer park somewhere doing meth off a dog's back. What I'm saying is that your problems and stuff in high school, while I don't want to say that they're not relevant, because they are what makes you who you are.
It's like
definitely
as time goes on, the things that are affecting your life right now become smaller, and bigger things seem to replace it.
Right. And this is another thing, a lot of, parents, counselors, whoever, might say that you don't have depression, but they aren't you. They don't they don't harbor your body, and they don't know how you feel. So if someone is trying to tell you that you are not depressed, oh, you're 13, you're not depressed, it's like, you know what, shut the fuck up, you aren't me. So you don't get to tell me how I feel, or you know what is affecting my brain right now. So my advice is, if you are if someone is telling you that you are feeling a certain way that you are definitely not feeling, or the opposite, you really need to just tell them to basically shut the fuck up, and that your own feelings, and take them seriously. Take your own feelings seriously. Don't take what other people think about your feelings seriously.
Yeah, if you're not feeling right, then that's not right. And just somebody telling you that you're just overreacting or whatever it
is
doesn't fix it. If you're not feeling right, you're not feeling right. So basically what got me out of my depression, I feel, wasn't medication or anything. It was just a jolt. And what I mean by that was when Destery and I moved out of Florida, he went into Portland and I went up to Idaho. And I think that the change of being in a completely new environment just jolted me out of it. And I was taken out of the place where I was just feeling oh man, nothing's happening and blah blah blah, and then put into a completely new scenario where I had any option to do anything. And so it was just a jolt to my brain, kind of, and it was literally instant. Instantly I was productive, and instantly I was just I'm gonna fucking clean my house, and and I literally have not been depressed a day since. But what's also good from that is now that I'm out of it, I feel I can feel when it tries to creep back in. I'll have similar thoughts of and I can recognize it. But so once you recognize, you're oh, this is making me feel like shit. You tell yourself, you're no, I am not gonna feel like this. I am going to
Yeah.
Like feeling bad about it is not going to get you anywhere. It's just
like worrying about something.
Yeah, it's
like,
just gonna spiral you down. So what you have to do is just like kind of accept, like be like, yeah, I feel like crap about this, but what I'm going to do is be proactive to get out of the situation that I'm in, instead of just feeling bad about it and nothing happening.
Yeah, it's like to kind of prevent yourself from slipping back into depression is almost as much as a struggle as it is getting out the first time. The one thing that is good about preventing getting back into depression is that you are able to recognize your own brain and how it's being affected, so you're able to tell when you're about to slip back and that stuff. At least for us, I won't say for everyone, but yeah, for me, that's happened a lot of times. Even, recently I've been, my brain has been slipping back into sort of like this depressive state. But, what I'll say is that you are your worst enemy and your best friend at the same time when it comes to matters of the brain, the heart, and depression and all that stuff. Like, you are your worst enemy because you can sit there and be in a bad mood and be like, I'm a piece of shit. I'll never do anything right. Those bullies were right. I am a piece of crap, which is what I did in high school, which is the wrong approach. Or you can recognize the fact that you are slipping back into that thing, and you're going to be like, all right, how do I combat this or try to prevent it in a way that makes sure that this won't get into, my everyday life from this point on. Like, what I will say is that you being your best friend is something, imagine your best friend is sitting next to you. Only they're in your head and they're telling you something that you want to hear. Like, Nathan, if you were to be like, hey man, you're really successful and you're not that bad looking, or if I was to say the same thing about you, those are words of encouragement that you'd want to hear from your best friend. But imagine that being inside of your own mind. So when you are feeling bad about yourself or slipping back, a lot of times what I'll say is just fuck life. Because life tries to fuck you a lot. So just don't take no for an answer. Flip life over a table. Try to fuck it before it fucks you. And if you feel yourself slipping back in depression, what you can do is just try to motivate yourself and fill yourself up with the compliments and the helpful gestures that something like a best friend might fill you up with.
It's weird too, like when it's like depression is a like perfect cycle that keeps you trapped, because what it does is it's like I don't want to go out and like go on a walk because like I just don't feel like it or whatever. But then as soon as you make yourself get up and go on a walk, you just feel so fucking good that you're like, because you're like, yes, I did it even though I didn't want to. So
yeah, like sometimes the cure, it seems like it's so far away, something that you can't achieve, but all you have to do is take that step. That first step, and then it's all of a sudden it's just so easy. It's just that first step is always the most difficult thing. It's like jumping out of an airplane. Once you're like out of the airplane, you can't go back up the fucking thing. It's like you're out of the airplane. So, but at that point, what are you gonna do? You have the option to fucking freak out, fall to your death, or pull the parachute and you'll survive. It's like you at that juncture in your life. When you take that first step, you'll have a couple of other options, and it's going to be a lot easier because of that first step to just take the right option.
Another point that I always thought was interesting about depression is that it doesn't affect people who are stupid, which I don't know how to put that nicely, but if you think about it, it's like when you think about like a bully, they're not highly that intelligent, It's like when you think about a bully, they're always like this, like, oh, you fucking fuck you, stupid butthole. It's never like, oh, I see that you come in late to school. You're rather a fuckhead. It's not. It's like if you're feeling depression, it's probably because you have a higher mental capacity. And so you're more of a like meditative thinker, and you're more
it's
cerebral.
like the curse. It's like a curse.
Yeah, you're smarter. Yeah. So you have these doubts. You're able to think outside of yourself, and that's what causes like these like bad things, like the anxiety and blah blah blah. Like people who are stupid. That's why that saying. It's like ignorance is bliss. It's because it's true. Like stupid people are essentially happier. But the reason why you're like feeling these things is because you're more mentally capable than these people that aren't feeling it.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're feeling depressed, don't feel that depressed, because at least you're smart.
Exactly.
There you go. So depression, the whole issue of depression is one that really ties together with everything else that I've talked about in the Real Ass Talk videos, from self-confidence ambition, you know, opportunities, even like everything that I've talked about in the past kind of ties up with depression, because if you have depression, it makes it so much harder to get ambition for things, so much harder to gain self-confidence of yourself. You know, sometimes you'll lose friends because of it. You know, all of these things can be negatively affected by depression. So that's why this one is a big issue, and I really hope that, you know, you took something from this video positively, and hopefully we're able to help in some way.
Yeah, hopefully, like, you see this video and you're just like, oh yeah, I'm not the only one who's feeling like this. Like, and
you're not.
Yeah, definitely. It affects a lot of people, definitely, and it's in a lot of different ways. There's not just one kind of depression.
Yeah, you should never have to feel alone, because there are a ton of other people, including us, that have gone through this stuff. And you know, if you ever need help, it's always, you know, it's a really tough thing to ask for it. I will.
Yeah, that's true. Like, real strength comes like in realizing that you need help and asking for it.
There's nothing wrong in asking for help, you know, especially when it comes to this stuff. So, like I said, it's always about that first step. And if you guys are, you know, suffering from depression, I definitely feel for you, Nathan. I almost called you Nethan. That sounds awesome. You know, Nathan feels for you. We both feel for you. So hopefully this helped out in some slight way, whether it was, you know, ways to get over it, or just, you know, being able to recognize the fact that you might have depression. I hope it helped in some slight way. And I also just want to say thank you guys for enduring this video. I know it's a long one, but, you know, we had a lot to say about it. And yeah, like Nathan said, we can go on about it all damn day. But if you guys have anything that I missed or that we missed in this video that you want to talk about, leave that in the comments down below, and I'll try to respond to those. Also, again, I just want to say thanks for everyone who's been supporting the show. And who have been trying to help out people in the comments down below with, you know, their issues and stuff, because, you know, this is just insight from us too. I'm sure a ton of other people down in the comments have their own personal stories and insight on the matter. So, you know, I really just want to say thanks for the people that are trying to help out, you know, the other people in the comments, even if they're fucking strangers. It's amazing. So thank you guys.
Yeah, and that's a really good place that you could potentially find somebody, is like in the comments, because, you know, that's the perfect place. There's a reason, like, you clicked on this video to watch it, and there's a reason why everyone else clicked the video to watch it, so you guys obviously have something in common.
Right. Well, guys, thank you all for watching this very, very long episode of Real Ass Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Next week, I will be uploading a challenge video that me and Nathan did, and that will be a ton of fun, and I'll be on the Destiny channel, so make sure to check that out next week. Also, I'll try to upload another Real Ass Talk a week after that, so if you guys enjoy this, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Also, I'll leave a link to Nathan's channel right here in the middle. You can check out his shit there. It's rather splendid. But we love you all. We'll see you next time, and fair winds, everyone.
Bye-bye.